Joining us now on set, Fox News contributor Steve Hilton. Steve, they're struggling with how to deal with this. New York City has a similar law that it's a right to shelter. It was really never settled in the courts, but no bonehead here has even stepped up to challenge it.
It's ridiculous. The whole thing is so ludicrous. So now it's a state of emergency, now that it's coming to Democrat-run states. I mean, have they not noticed that this has been going on for years as a consequence of their policies, their ideology of open borders? I think of them as migration NIMBYs, right? They're all for kind of, you know, asylum seekers and open borders, and we love the migrants until it's in their backyard, and suddenly it's an emergency. And of course, the only answer that they'll actually consider, not the real one that would solve the problem, which is closing the border and having a properly managed legal immigration system. No, that's far too sensible. The only answer, as always, is more taxes, more money, more resources. That's all that they can think of.
You know, Steve, we usually blame the politicians because politicians implement these policies, but it's really the people in these communities in these states that vote for politicians who are going to make their state or city a sanctuary city. I wonder when the citizens get tired of all the new migrants coming into their schools that are already failing, and now they have all these new kids coming in, as well as a tapped police force, more crime, all the issues that come with this surge. When do the people go, enough, new politicians, we want to change course?
Well, I think that's what's happening. You know, you're finally seeing, once people really see the consequences of these far-left policies, and these are extreme policies that are being tried out by the left. You know, the party as a whole, Democratic Party, completely captured by activists, and now you're seeing it play out. And in places where the Democrat vote, you would have thought would be very solid, I see signs of it changing because people are sick of it. And actually, it's changing most among the groups that the Democrats claim they speak for. For example, the Latino population, black people. They're the victims, the poorest, the most vulnerable, the people who actually are the target of their so-called compassion. They're the biggest victims of these stupid policies.
They are, if you listen and watch these major cities, moms in board meetings are furious at what their children are being subjected to on the streets and in schools because of these policies.
Yeah, I mean, it's just completely, I mean, you used the word unsustainable. I mean, it will be sustained unless you vote for change, and that's the point. And you've got to do it at every level, because it's these policies in place, the federal level, state and local, coming together. The stupidity is all around us.
Yeah, Steve, I want to get to this too. You're personally working in California through your organization Golden Together to tackle the housing crisis by proposing a 2024 ballot measure called the California Home Ownership Affordability Act, pushing for more home construction in the San Francisco area. It would reform the California Environmental Quality Act, cap impact fees that can be charged to developers at 3%, and create a fund to provide down payment loans to construction workers to purchase a home in the state. So, Steve, tell us what the problem is in California and how your act would fix it.
So the problem is, as ever with California, we're at the bottom of every list you want to be at the top of, and the top of every list you want to be at the bottom of. We have the highest housing costs in America and the lowest home ownership. California was built, the California dream was go to California, buy a home, follow your dreams, raise a family. That's gone. It's impossible for people to get on the housing ladder on a normal salary. It is completely self-inflicted, like nearly all the problems in California. The two big ones are the ones you just mentioned. There's something called impact fees, which is actually another name for a tax on house building. It now you pay in San Francisco $300,000 per apartment. That's not the labor or the cost of the land or the materials. It's just a flat-out tax on building across the state. $200,000 per house you build, paid by the builders, but of course it goes on to the purchase price. The second reason that nothing gets built is these ridiculous lawsuits that abuse the environmental law to basically block anything from being built. Who's bringing the lawsuits? Mostly labor unions, in order to extract cushy deals for themselves, but at the price of their own members not being able to buy a house. And the politicians have totally failed to do anything about it. That's why we're running this ballot initiative to try and fix the problem.
And then that ego with a haircut, who's your governor? They're banning gasoline-powered automobiles, so I'm not moving there.
I would just say it's nice to hear a proposal that doesn't call for spending more money. It's actually fixing the problems that are driving up the cost of housing. I chaired the subcommittee on housing and insurance in Congress, and everyone came in and said, spend more money, spend more money. More money is never the answer, but reform actually is. Steve Hilton.
Exactly. Thank you.
Great to see you.